Hey guys, welcome to my review of the Walabot DIY Stud Finder General. That's not what it's called, but it sounds cool. Is this thing worth it, or is every review actually owned and operated and paid for by the company that made this thing? Alright, so you may have been able to tell by my reaction in the beginning there that I'm not a big fan of this thing, and you know what? I'll hold my judgments till after I show you how it works. So, stud finders, I'm not a big fan of them because generally, if I want to find a stud, I have a mirror. No. If I want to find a stud, I use my knuckle, right? The old standby, because that's the easiest way to do it. Basically, you knock on the wall. There's a stud. Not a stud. Stud. Stud? Not a stud. Alright. So, that being said, it's not that hard to find a stud. Really, it's not. You could even pay less than $20 for something like this that you can just go to Walmart, pick up at a home store or something. And these work reasonably well. If I want to find a stud, I just put it up on the wall, I press the button and I slide it. There's the stud, center of it right there. They work fairly well, they're not that hard to use. And I can throw them over there because I don't give a shit. Anyway, yeah, that's a basic stud finder in a nutshell. It's not hard to work, or not hard to figure out how to use them. But now we've got these wonderful things that people claim are light years ahead in technology. I don't know if they mean light years as in it's a distance, a giant leap, or if they mean in time, because light years is really, it's a measure of time, or it's a measure of distance, but some people try to use it as a measure of time because they're dumb. Whatever, moving on. So, if you want to use this thing, here's basically what happens. You'll need an Android phone. I've got myself a Samsung Galaxy 9 Plus here, and you will also need the Android, or the Walabot itself object, or system, we'll call it that. Anyway, it comes with two cables. One of them has one end as a micro USB, which looks like that, kind of like a rounded trapezoid, and the other one is a USB-C, which is, an ovally pretty much type of USB connector. It's the newest one. What you'll get in the box is the two kinds of cables. You'll also get the Walabot DIY by itself. You also get this cool gel pad that comes with it that you can rinse and reuse. I'm not super sure how I like this. Kind of seems like a cheap solution, to be honest. But, whatever, we'll go with it. But anyhow, you get the gel pad and you get the Walabot, and you're pretty much good to go. You don't really need much else. All you gotta do to make this thing work is download the app on your phone, and then put the two together like you're making some kind of a cool Voltron thing. Done. The Walabot is now installed on my phone. And it came off already. Great. Okay, and then you also have to plug in the USB connector on the bottom. So, that being done, start the Walabot app, and then it'll connect, and then it'll go through the usual junk, which will make me hate my life. So it typically tells you, hey, here's how you get things ready. First off, it gives you a walkthrough on how to use the Walabot, sort of, which is really annoying because, honestly, this isn't that hard to figure out. And then you have to go ahead and calibrate it. And calibrating it is the most annoying thing ever because, I can pick up that other stud finder, and I can just put it on the wall and go, this thing, it wants you to calibrate. And believe me, you have to calibrate. So you start the calibration, and pretty much calibration just involves doing figure eights or a circle on the wall until it says it's done. Alright, calibration completed. Now, there are three modes. You have pan, image, and expert. Pan, I don't even know what the purpose of that is supposed to be because I don't know what it's supposed to do. I'll show you what it does. Pretty much, I can start over here on the wall, right? And tap and hold, and then go across the wall. and then it'll give you a nice little readout. So this readout will tell you, oh, there's I don't know, there might be a stud there, there's stuff there, and then there's a stud over there. Okay, that kind of is trying to say that that's a pipe. And that's actually surprising that it picked that up. Kind of, a little bit shocked. Not gonna lie, a little bit shocked. But the thing that most people see in the commercials is the image mode. And this is where they try to make their money, because in the commercials it makes it look like it's a real time, like, oh, I see the stud, I can see right behind the wall, like it was like an X-ray. It's not a technological marvel, not in any way. In fact, because I have my hand here, it thinks that my hand is a metal rod, or no, metal stud. I could put it somewhere else and probably show you a metal stud. But anyway, I'm made of adamantium. Now, this is interesting, but what you can do is you can put this up on the wall, and oh look, I happen to have found a stud immediately. No, that's not a stud. That is not a stud at all. And I can move over, like so, and also not a stud. But here, let me give you a closer view of the screen, just so you can see I'm not BSing you here. Move over here. Oh look, it says I found a wooden stud. It actually shows wooden stud on the screen. That's a wooden stud. I know that for sure. But that ain't a wooden stud. Now it did for a second there, for just like a split second, think that it found a pipe. But no, that's not. It says a wooden stud. It's not. It's not a wooden stud at all. And then you keep on going. And oh look, I found a wooden stud. Now there is kind of a nice thing about this. It is kind of nice that like those are the edges of the stud. Like what's on the screen is correct. So that's not terribly bad. But it's not really a wooden stud. It pretends like it is, but it's not. And that's where you get into trouble. So I know that right back here, there's 2 PVC pipes. I know this because I've been up in the attic and there's a couple of vent stacks. It's that simple. It's a pair of vent stacks. But this is telling you it's a wooden stud. And if you didn't know better, you would drill right into those. And you would think that, oh, I could just hang something in there. But no, you can't. That would be a bad plan. Either you'll get lucky and you'll miss, or you'll get unlucky and you'll go right through it. And if you go through a vent stack, generally the worst thing that's happened is you get some sewer gas in, which could be pretty unhealthy, or you could have nothing happen pretty much. You might get some humidity. You're not really going to get a lot of water through there, if any. If you get unlucky though, and you happen to be drilling into a water main, a water supply pipe of some type, here's the good news. The good news is you're going to have your phone right here, and you're going to need that because one hand is going to be on that hole that's spewing water, and the other one is going to be cursing and calling a plumber. So good news there. You will have your phone handy. Anyway, the last mode is expert mode. And expert mode is the only thing on here that I actually think is kind of useful. Expert mode basically gives you something that looks like the Predator's, heat vision. By the way, this thing just keeps coming off anyhow. But anyway, yeah, so it'll pretty much give you an idea of what's behind the wall. It won't tell you what it is. It won't tell you a distance. It won't tell you anything other than, yeah, there's something there. It gives you the raw data pretty much. And that's actually pretty cool because you can use this to trace out a pipe. You could use that to trace out if, say, for example, somebody did a remodel, they did like a weird frame in here for a window at some point. You'd be able to go through and, trace it out and figure out, where that is. And that's actually pretty cool. Like right here, there's something. I can't tell what it is, but there's something there. Well, there's nothing. I don't know. But yeah, you could find stuff, which is actually pretty neat. So big fan of that. But it's not redeeming because the thing about this is this thing costs a little over $100, and I don't see the value. Every commercial that is done seems to be done by the DIY Walabot people or sponsored by them or it's paid for in some way. I saw them do a review of this thing on Ask This Old House, and they didn't mention any of the bad stuff about it. They just said, oh, it's actually a pretty decent product, blah, blah, blah. And Tom Silva, the guy that was demonstrating it, is one of my favorite guys. He's a good carpenter. He's fun to watch do woodworking. But you could tell he didn't think it was that great. You could tell he was like, oh, this thing kind of sucks. But God bless him. He tried. So is it worth buying this thing? No, just save your money. Use your knuckle or buy a cheap $20 stud finder and be done with it. You really don't need it. Now, this is on a orange peel textured wall, so it does work okay, but I'll tell you, if you get to a knockdown texture, it doesn't work that well at all. With the larger gaps, you're not going to find much. Also, it'll kind of dig in, and it's not going to slide very easily on that. But that's not much different than with most stud finders anyway. So just use your old standby, knock on the wall, figure it out. It's not that hard. Took me that long to find a stud. Want to find one over here? Right there, found a stud. Took me like less than 10 seconds. Alright, so there you go. That's my opinion on it. Anyway, appreciate you watching. If you could, just like, subscribe, comment, do all those cool things if you liked it. If you didn't like it, comment anyway. Tell me you didn't like it. I'd like to see that. If you could, also, if you did like it and you want other people to not get scammed by this type of stuff, by all means, share this video so that they get the real story on it. I am trying to make my way up to 1,000 subscribers still. I'm up to about 980. I do a lot of other videos on my channel, like some video game stuff, how to hack games. Not the multiplayer, I think that's unethical. I just mostly do single-player hacking because it makes the game more fun after you beat it so many times. I also do some Let's Plays. I do all kinds of stuff. And I'm trying to dip my toe on the political side of things. We'll see what happens there. But thanks for watching. And until next time, try not to die.